So next on our Quake journey, we are going to show you what the current version of Quake is like. This game is called Quake Champions. It is an amalgamation of all the different Quake games that have come out since 1996 when we just played the original Quake. So Quake obviously got focused into a very multiplayer heavy game. And at Quake 3 they realized single player was not where it was at for them. Other people were doing it better than them. Multiplayer was where it was at because that was the roots. That was the thing that people cared about the most with Quake. After Quake 3 it was just kind of like most of the time Quake was just pretty much just multiplayer. And I have actually not watched this intro video, so let's take a look at the good graphics that 2018 buys you. Cool sound design. So, some of the things that they added since the original Quake pretty much had all the weapons that they wanted, with the exception of the railgun. The railgun was like the big instant hit sniper rifle weapon. And the new addition in this version of Quake is that the character models that you select, they all have different abilities, and those abilities will make you either, grab 2 guns, or take less damage, or teleport. So there's a little bit of strategy to that. Sophie's asking, did Trent work on this music? No. Trent Reznor pioneered that style of music, but I feel like a lot of people learned how to do that style later. So in case you don't know or are watching this offline, you can actually watch us live every Friday playing all kinds of games. You can be in front of a live studio audience as you're recording. So this is a free-to-play game. Obviously there's rewards for coming in, there's loot boxes. They're all, as far as I can tell, cosmetic so far. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into a game. I'm gonna do a team playlist because it's like one of the easiest things to do. Quake Champions has better controls than Quake. The weapons in a lot of ways are better. The balance is better. I mean, obviously there's matchmaking. I don't have to do anything weird to get it going. In a lot of ways, I think that the multiplayer in this game is more fun than the original Quake. However, this game still needs some more work in terms of like more casual modes, more change of pace gameplay. I like what they did with the one-on-one and the ranked modes. So let's go ahead. These are guys on my team. You can change champion. I'm going to change to BJ Blazkowicz because he can do 2 guns. And the controls are just so much more tight in this. And you're going to see how you become a Quake Master. I don't know if I should really be spending a lot of time doing stuff with the railgun, because there's no railgun in Quake 1. The other thing too is in the original Quake there were weapons that didn't do a lot of damage because they were trying to balance for single player. And then they realized like, hey, we want all weapons to be kind of lethal, and that makes a better multiplayer game. Alright, wish me luck. Good luck, have fun everybody. The thing I do like about Quake though that they didn't get rid of is the fact that you have to hunt for weapons and you have to hunt for armor and health. They didn't start you off with weapons, and I'm glad that they did that because part of the strategy of Quake, part of the fun of it is zoning people out of certain weapons or having to improvise with something that you're not necessarily like completely ready for. So that guy had an ability that does damage over time. I'm pretty low on health. I don't have the weapons that I want. I'm not as familiar with this map. I think I've only played Quake Champions for like a week, but here's the thing. If you've played the original Quake, and you played, in tournaments and stuff, you're gonna pick up into this game within like a day or 2. You're gonna fall right back in and be like, okay, yeah, I get it. And I'm using the nail gun, which like does actually quite a bit of damage. Does 20 per shot, and these guys are running pretty slow right now. Where's my rocket launcher? Alright, there's my railgun. I guess he's waiting for the quad damage to come back. So when you play these team games, you always want to like be next to your teammates. Oh god, there's 2 of them. I'm gonna die on this. Yeah, I died.
Death at the gates again.
Wow, that hurt. BJ, if he's out of combat for so long, will basically recharge up to the next 25 health, which is pretty nice. Survivability in these games has always been like a big deal. Alright, I'm gonna go down here, finally rockets. And I'm gonna get out of here, because I'm almost dead. So, the big thing in Quake that they did a good job of communicating to players is when to fight and when to run. So, when you're playing multiplayer in these arena shooters, you have to decide, am I going to engage or am I going to run? And you have to make that decision very quickly. It's very rarely that you change that decision in the middle. And so, if you don't have a good weapon, if you don't have armor and health, you're probably going to make that decision to not fight. You're going to make that decision to run. You heard the hitboxes were terrible? Oh, the hitboxes are fine. And so here's the thing. This game gets modified on like a daily basis. So it can be difficult to make that decision of like, oh, the hitboxes are terrible. Well, not right now, or maybe not this week. So that's another issue that I have with some games is, oh, there we go, lightning gun. Games that change when you're away from them for like 6 months. Let's say you just decide you want to go play another game for 6 months. And then you come back and it's completely different. I'm looking at you, League of Legends. You play games like that and you just can't take time off of them. And the reality is people have lives.
What shit is this?
So I should be running with my team here, but I'm trying to get a railgun. Railgun's a big deal. This guy's gonna get destroyed because there's 4 of us here. This is bad. Gosh, I did really bad on that. I almost died. Alright, this guy's new. Now I'm doing something you should never do in these team games, which is run out by yourself, because I'll run into 4 of them and it'll be a 4v1 and it'll be very bad. So another thing that happened in Quake 2 that stuck around for a long time was called bunny hopping. So you'll see me that I'm jumping a whole bunch. I don't want to fight that. He's up there. Oh man, I died from his ability. And bunny hopping, as long as you were jumping, you didn't lose your momentum while, if you didn't stay on the ground for too long. And so what you would do is you would jump, strafe at the same time, and keep jumping over and over again. And you would maintain that speed, because as you're falling, you actually get a little bit of a speed. And people really liked that form of movement in running because it feels good as a PC game. They said show a good Quake World demo. Tell you what, buddy, we're gonna play Quake World here after I'm done showing how Quake has changed. Oh, why'd you let yourself get killed, buddy? Let's see if I can get this guy. Ah, he got me. Alright, I was getting aggressive there. This is not one of my favorite levels. I do like the fact that they drop a little bit of armor in this game. They also did away with the armor types finally in this version of Quake. You just have armor, because what was happening is it was too easy to get the red armor and have complete control over the map. From the grave, there we go. I have heard some complaints about this game that they said all weapons are too balanced and that like every weapon's just as good as the other ones. I disagree with that. I still find myself switching between weapons. What I don't like about this game is that the switch time between railgun and rockets is like so large because you have to wait for the animation to go away before it's done. So you can switch really quickly from a weapon like that, but you know, you shoot the railgun and it's like it punishes you. It almost forces you to stay on a weapon. Am I gonna live through this? Apparently the free guy is a lizard, which is really annoying because his ability is like, let's do damage over time to you. Where does this take me? I just want to get the lightning gun again.
That sounds some shit in a 5-pound bag.
Another thing that is also kind of weird is the guys, they talk, like they have personality, but I don't find it to be like anything useful. They just like, oh, I'm coming back from the dead. Like, I think that's a missed opportunity gameplay-wise, that they could have used it to, explain a gameplay mechanic, like, oh, you know, he had way more health than me, or had more armor, or next time I'll get a better weapon, you know? And, I don't know. I just feel like there's really not a tutorial. I mean, there is a tutorial, but like it's pretty early. Also, there's a little thing that warms up with the railgun, but apparently it doesn't do anything right now. It must be a holdover from something. Whoa, that was unexpected. A holdover from something that was earlier. I can pull out two guns as BJ. I've heard people say that it's pretty broken. I would say that it's probably one of the most powerful abilities in the game. Ouch, 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 ouch. So now I'm at 25 health and 10 armor, and I'm gonna basically run away from every fight. I'm a little on the fence in terms of them like telling everybody like, hey, the quad is up, and it's not, because for one, it does create an interesting fight while people are like, oh, it's there, we're all gonna go for it, or it's incoming. But at the other token, though, it also kind of gives away some of the skill for, you know, timing things out. We used to get chess timers when we would play tournaments, and I might die on this one. And we would hit them when we'd grab it. And so part of having control of a power-up in a team game was the fact that if you didn't have control of it, you didn't know when it was going to come back. So you had to make educated guesses. So there was problem solving happening while you were fighting, and unfortunately they've taken that out.
Enemy has the quad.
Right? Because it's just like, it just tells you straight up, hey, look, quad's going to come in at like 10.
Let's go.
Thanks for the weapon, buddy. Man, we are like destroying them on this. Quake Champions used to have a bug where damage was tied to FPS. Probably fixed by now. Oh baby, how far have you come? Thanks for joining us during this Quake week. We are Human Interact. We stream story games, adventure games, lots of stuff from the 90s. You're gonna love it. We're the makers of Starship Commander, a game that you can talk to the characters using your voice in virtual reality. It's cool stuff. Take a look at the trailer. Thank you so much. See you for some more Quake.